that I've had, and I've accompanied a lot of people that I've talked to. The number one thing is that you know what you deserve, right? You deserve the right to have the job that you want. You deserve to have the circumstance that you want. So you fight for it. So the only way that you can fight for it is that when you hear something that, or you experience something that is not for you, or it's like, ooh, that was racist, or ooh, dang, I didn't like that comment at all. The first thing that you gotta remember is, where am I at? Okay, what am I trying to do? Okay, what did my mama teach me? Not gonna lie, some of the things my mama told me wouldn't go with this. But in all seriousness, it comes back to, what do I want? What do I deserve? I deserve the right to have what I want right now. I deserve that right. So for me, throwing that emotion in the back of my head, that's not a problem, because I know I want to graduate. Right? I know that I want that pay raise. Right? I know that I want people to view me not as the mad black man. And I want them to experience me as the intelligent young man. So that's the way I know how to do it.
Specifically to you, or to everyone, I'd say, that's why I say breathe. I mean, you got to do that first. Taking a deep breath and just listening, you really give them, maybe the other person, an opportunity to really think about what they said. And to really kind of marinate in the silence. That pregnant pause that happens in literature that is so impactful, your pause is impactful. The benefit you have in being a woman who is not a woman of color is that you can assimilate. You need to control your emotion because you are in a place where you can be of service. So you can't get all fired up and get to cussing folk out, because we're going to need you there. Right? I tell people all the time, I don't know everybody and I don't know everything, but I know people who know people. So when I need something, I send people to do the things I need, okay? So you are here for such a time as this, my sister. And that's what you're going to have to do, take the message in a way that affects change. Because I ain't going to never get to talk to them white boys that was in your class. Maybe. I might, I guess. I could, right? But I'm saying we might not be talking about that, when they come in there. So you're going to have to check your emotion, because there is more purpose for you if you are not emotional. I always talk about sports teams. What happens to the hothead on the field? They out the game. Don't let anybody take you out of your game. You just can't.
So a lot of times I notice, well, my question is, how do we teach the younger generations their culture and their history and get them back to where we were? Because I see every day, like, it saddens me, it angers me that they're moving in a direction and it's no telling where they're going or where they're headed. So how do we get them back and teach them that their black is beautiful? Or
Get to the old lady. Well, I'll tell you this. One of the reasons I went to law school was because I wanted to speak for people who couldn't speak for themselves. I went to Alabama, and as an undergraduate, I was one of those doing candlelight vigils and all those kinds of things. And I found that a lot of people were going to law school, just like you said, they're going to be our officers, and they're going to be, and so I noticed that they were all going to be the politicians. So I decided I needed to go to law school so that I could be in a place to speak for people who I knew would be impacted by the decisions they made. That is what you have to do. I told my dad, I said, I want to go to law school. I was an engineering major. That's a whole nother story. And failing physics was a life changer for me. Just saying. I decided I wouldn't be a physicist and I wouldn't be an engineer. So I became an English major with a math minor and went to law school. So I called my daddy and I said, I want to go to law school so I can change the world. My father said, baby, you might not change the world, but you can change somebody's world every day in the place in which you find yourself. So that's where you gotta be. Right now your thoughts are really grand and big. I'm gonna save every brown child in America. No, you're not. You're probably not. You're not. That's why I started writing a blog, because I was gonna help parents who didn't know how to parent, because I decided grown people don't know how to relate to young people, and I was good at that. So I'm gonna teach them how to be the awesome grown-up like me, right? Well, I ain't gonna teach all of them, but one by one you can change them. So if that means on your Twitter feed, instead of posting pictures of yourself getting crunk doing all kind of weirdness turned off, then you might need to turn over a little education on your Twitter feed. Maybe that's what y'all need to do every Friday. I don't know, just saying. Yeah, just saying. Every week maybe you need to drop a little knowledge on the people in your environment. So that's all I'm saying. One at a time, or however many followers you got, encourage them to retweet something that makes some sense, other than whatever that foolishness is that y'all doing that I don't really want to know about. Okay? Just saying.
Okay. Very last question.
You want it? Oh, no. Okay. So something you really said that really resonated with me is when you said that people don't really talk about something that they don't relate to directly. So I personally am an undocumented DACA student. So when that thing happened, I saw like a lot of stuff on like Facebook with friends saying like, send it back, do all this like crazy stuff. Sorry. It's personal to you.
Take your time.
Not really.
I know how it feels.
That means you feel safe. That's good.
Oh yeah. So I guess like seeing that and like seeing people I went to school with, talk to, communicate with, saying those stuff, kind of would be like how to like get that conversation going. Like these are the people like that you're telling me like to go back to. Like I am a person. I'm just like I have spent all these years with you, and I don't know if you can understand my question, but that's it.
Man, I feel your pain. I can empathize with you, man. But we all immigrants, in all honesty, in this country. And if you feel like you need to talk to somebody, right? You feel as though you're not welcome in this country. I'm telling you this: you are. You're welcome in this country, no matter what color you are.
The one thing I want to share too is that what I've noticed a lot from students and young people who grew up with social media, I didn't grow up with that. I had a student in my office talking about a phone, and I pulled the phone and said, "You'll have to come over here so you can talk to these people on the phone that I just called for you." And the student said, "Oh yeah, I forgot phones have cords." So I'm saying all that to say that in this time of technology, social media makes you think that you have friends. You just don't. So what I'm going to say is don't invest a lot of time in them. That's what unfollow is for. That's what block is for. Unfriend, all of that. That's what it's for. I unfriended somebody the second time Barack Obama ran for president. Somebody I considered a friend. I unfriended a few of them. What was interesting, they didn't notice for a long time we weren't friends. Imagine that, right? And then finally, I got a message from one of them saying, "Did you unfriend me?" I said, "Yeah, because your feeds, I can't handle your friends." That's some negative energy you don't need. So you're going to have to separate from that. That's hard. But it's going to be harder if you keep looking at it. You may never understand who they are and why they believe the things they believe, but until you are emotionally in a place where you can manage that, you don't need to subject yourself to it. So, just so you know, there's a social worker on campus who's available to undocumented students. That's a service that the university has brought on board in the last few months. She works out of the Title IX office. So if you need to talk to someone, you have some questions, you need someone who can, support you through this, then I would really encourage you to call the Title IX office and get an appointment to talk to her, all right? Because she is there for this purpose. So I get you. Sometimes there are people who are not like you and haven't experienced what you've experienced, and they say things that are mean and hurtful. We lived in the state of Kentucky. I was a lawyer who was out of work at the time and found out I was pregnant right before we moved. I got there, my husband's job didn't have insurance. So I was a lawyer with WIC vouchers. I had a medical card, and I was standing in line paying for groceries but getting $10 worth of free stuff and watching people talk about me and watching them demean me, and they didn't know me. So I'm just gonna tell you, I get it. The people don't know where you are, and you ain't gonna always be in this place. So hang in there, find some people who are supportive, and spend more of your time with them than you do with the knuckleheads who don't get it, all right?
Okay, you got 30 seconds.
Okay.
Go for it.
So, I can relate to that experience, just going a bunch of different places, living in Henderson, going to Boise. I had a lot of people that wrote me off when I started understanding my views and started vocalizing those. So on that level, I definitely understand. And like Ms. Kim said, you gotta just get those people out your life. And more people that understand you will come around. I will also say that if they are truly your friend and they don't understand, they should be able to empathize at some point. So if you do actually value that friendship and you believe they value you, you can actually sit down and have those conversations. It might not go as smooth as you want them to be, but if they are understanding and they are truly your friend, no matter what view they have, they will see you as a human and at least be able to understand that from that perspective, and you can move from there. I think just, again, like Ms. Kim said, it starts one person at a time. So I think those personal held relationships that you have, those are really close, whether they be on another side or not. I think you can pull those people in, but there's a lot of people, of course, they're not your friends. They're affiliates, I don't know really what you want to call them, but yeah, just get them out. Yeah, acquaintances. And you just need to get them out your life because it's just negative energy that you don't need for sure.
I'm going to end with this. Second day in the U.S., the 30th of August, a few years ago. It was around 7, 8 a.m. I was in Kentucky, Russian University. I wanted to know for sure. Just brushing my teeth, and I just came from Nigeria, And a classic white dude just walked up to me, and I'm like, "Oh, you know how to use the tap? Do you guys have running water in Nigeria?" He looked at me again. "Do you guys have electricity in Nigeria?" And mind you, I flew directly from my home city straight to Atlanta, Georgia. And I just stared at him. And I'm like, I just got here. A few months later, we were eating in the cafeteria with some of my friends from Nigeria, and it was really bad. And once again, if I stare down, just now trying to hold it in. It was the fact that back home we weren't as privileged as most people. So when we saw chicken, we were like, yay, wings and stuff. And so they had wings in the cafeteria, and we're just going with stuff. And a bunch of white dudes, again, they saw how we were cracking the bones, we were just digging in. And they finished eating their wings. They were done. They had napkins and tissues on it, and they offered it to us. Just looking at all this, it breaks your heart. It broke my heart. They didn't do it to me, they did it to my friend, and he stayed in the dorms for like days because it was heartbreaking. But through it all, what we got out of it was, one day I'm going to employ you. That's all I can say. I don't give a damn about racists. I don't care about Peter. He's destroying my name. Everyone's like, Peter. I know one day for sure. I know it as I know my name. One day for sure, he's going to look up to us. Not just me, but every single person in this room. And he's going to need you for something. And at that point, the tables will be turned. I know what you feel, Edsel. Of course you know. We're close friends. You know what I go through. It's hard. But this is why we have our story. Because we want you to come together and hear the stories. You know, we want you to come and get inspired by the stories of students here at the university. To know that people are going through a lot. You know, we've had stories about racism, we've had stories about sexuality, we've had stories about poverty. We just want to create that safe space where people can come and just feel comfortable and feel safe. You know, Miss King is here, you know, but you still feel safe to voice your, you know, opinions about things. And that's why we have our story. I want to invite you guys to come more. Jeff, if you want to keep track with our story, you can follow us on social media. And it's great that we have you all here, but we need to bring the racists on our campus to our story and have these conversations with them. That's our aim, that's our vision, to change the narrative on campus, to have things be different. So please feel free to follow us, retweet our events and stuff, and just be a part of our story. And we have a website. You can check our events and all this fun stuff. If you want to be a part of our story, if you want to join the team, help set up the lights, just go to our website. We have links for that. You can partner with us, and you could be a speaker. And this is what I would encourage you to do. If you have a story, first of all, we believe everyone has a story. Every single person here has a story. And this is the perfect platform for you to come and share your story. So if you have a story, just go to the website and fill out the link, and I'll create a spot for you here at our story. Next slide, please. So we're going to take a break. We've had events back to back for the last 3 weeks. So next week we're not going to be having an event here. But in 2 weeks, we're going to be having an event on addiction, mental illness, and disabilities. We're going to have students just come and, just talk about what it means to be just a disabled student here on campus. I was talking with someone, May, I think you guys see her around, and it's amazing how students treat them. It's appalling, I should say. So I'd invite you guys to come. It's in 2 weeks. It's on the 12th, and then we're going to be talking about sexuality, and we're talking about sexual assault. So please feel free, bring your friends, just invite someone to come. And the next slide. You could go to our website, events, and we basically have the flyer with the countdown timer and all this fun stuff, just telling you when the next event is. So you can just stay tuned, stay in touch with us, and also our social media page. But the most important thing I want everyone here to leave with is you have a story. Your story is what makes you special. Your story is what makes you unique. Your story is what's going to make you an inspiration to the next generation. I'm a guy from Nigeria. I always say I'm from the streets of Nigeria because I grew up with nothing, absolutely nothing. But I know my future is bright. I know eventually I'm gonna be the epitome of hope back home. Because people are gonna look at me and say, if Peter can make it, I can make it. And that's my story. In the same way I have a story, you have a story. And here at our story, we want you to know that your story is our story. Thank you so much for coming.
Follow me on Twitter,